We are back with more My Southern Home, and I'm here with Sherry, the homeowner, and Andrew Thompson with Andrew Thompson Construction. And thanks for joining us, guys.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
So Sherry, this has been a long journey for you to get to this point, and it all started with you, Andrew.
It did.
Yeah, this is one of the longer projects that we've worked on. But the good thing is we didn't even put a permit in the front window for, it may have been 6 months when we were working on plans, choosing things. I want to give a big shout out to Anna Brown with AB Interior. She did a phenomenal job here. And that was us taking our time. I've said on the show so many times that if you are involved with someone that's in a rush or you're in a rush, maybe you're starting off on the wrong foot. We were here about a year, and then the planning phase was about 6 months. And so it is a stunningly beautiful home.
And Sherry, I'm sure you had a list of must-haves when you went to Andrew.
We did. We had been planning this for about 10 years. Ken and I talked about when and if the kids were out of school and we could really enjoy it. And so we'd thought through a lot of the things that we wanted to do. And obviously a kitchen was, we had to redo the kitchen, and we wanted to redo our master bath. Swimming pool was very important at the top of my list. I think Ken's ball game room was probably at the top of his list, and it's all worked out beautifully.
So Andrew, when you sit
There's a lot of things on the list, by the way.
There were.
And Andrew, when you sit with a homeowner like Sherry and you start going through those list items, how does that conversation begin?
Well, it all begins with sitting down and talking about what your expectations are of each other. That's the first thing. I'll never forget, I sat down with Ken, and Ken said, hey, we're going to plan all we can, we're going to choose all we can, but I'm going to throw you some curveballs. I didn't know how many curveballs were coming. I hope I caught the vast majority of those. But we did kind of fly by the seat of our pants a little bit on this particular job, because I've said on here 100 times, we try not to start a job until we're at 90%. We may have been at 70%, but we knew that going in. So we sat down and set those expectations. Ken and Sherry were both retired. Ken had just recently retired, so they were able to come and visit. They were in a rental house right down the road. So we did a lot of day-to-day stuff, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. So you've got to get through all those days together, but it's all built on the foundation of what you sit down in those first 4 or 5 meetings and say, this is what I'm going to do for you, but this is what I need for you to do for me.
Well, he did a lot for you.
He did. He did. I really enjoyed working with Andrew. I think he's one of my friends now because we saw each other every day for a very long time. And I will have to say, most of the curveballs he caught, a couple zoomed by his ear, I think. But Kim was throwing some pretty good ones at some points. But he was wonderful to work with, very honest. His subs were phenomenal. Became friends with them too, and it just worked out beautifully.
Well, Andrew, this home is very special to me because I was here and got to meet Ken at the very beginning stages of this project. So to be able to see it finished and evolving, it's just really neat for someone like myself.
Well, that was a good story to tell. There was a tremendous amount of precision demo that needed to happen in this house. We needed to protect some things that were already here. We needed to open up things, but we didn't want to deconstruct the whole house. We didn't have to take the whole house down to the studs. So how you deal with that is your first step. And that was worthy of telling that story.
And we were here last season, and you have a couple additions that weren't here when we were here.
We had not finished the bunk beds, and we had not finished the golf simulator room. I don't think you saw those before. And now they're all complete and being used.
And Andrew, that outdoor living space that you made for them, I really don't want to leave the house. I want to just stay out there.
We have done some really incredible outdoor living spaces, and I'll put this one up there with any of them. It has everything you could possibly want. I think that part of the story of them doing this addition to the house is they have children that are close by, they have grandkids that are close by, they're very close to each other. This is like a playhouse. This is like a family compound, and that's what I picked up on, this is the place that we want the grandkids and the kids to come and feel welcome and be entertained and have a good time, at this season in our lives.
Well, and one of the things too, Sherry, I think is so important is when you put planning into your space like you did, you don't have a lot of, I wish.
I don't. I can honestly say I don't have any I wishes at all. They're all here.
Yeah, those were some of the curveballs. But you know, but that's it, because oftentimes, you know, you can try to have a perfect budget, you can try to have a perfect plan, you can try to have a perfect set of plans, which Christian Noble did an incredible job here. I love working with him. We've worked with him for years and years. But you're going to have some stuff that you're going to have to figure out. I mean, there were huge steel beams that came into this house. What's the best way to get them in? We had to get a crane. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's not if something is going to happen, it's when it happens and how you deal with it. There were difficult days here, but they were much fewer than the good days.
Well, I'm sure it was a relief for you, Sherry, because this home had a lot of decisions that had to be made.
Yes, and Anna did a great job, you know, helping me with those, and then the people at the suppliers too were great at helping see my vision. And they made me step outside my box just a little bit on a couple of things, but that's okay. It worked well.
Well, I'm so happy to have you guys together on the show today, and I just love this house, and thank you for allowing us to be on this journey to your dream home transformation.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
It's always good to be here.
We'll be back with more My Southern Home in just a moment.